Okay.
Hello.
Hola. Here we are again. Welcome everybody. We rejoin the party. Everyone is making their way. They're attempting to journey back to Undergrove to deliver all of the information that they've discovered in their mission to save the sacred grove and maintain the roots of the tree that's been holding the weave together. Um, in need of healing, rest, a little time to discover what sort of treasures they're carrying back. The real question becomes, what are they coming back to? Because the mission was for them to take out the head of the cultists. However, that meant diversionary attacks at various points throughout the system of tunnels and caves and the network of uh, underground places that there were a significant number of troops that were committed to that,
Yes,
even for a city that was already on a war footing. So as the unlucky bunch begins to travel back through the tunnels to the route that they know or can find their way with a certain amount of wayfinding. Uh,
I have the route memorized,
there you go.
and I have an internal compass.
Okay. Without
Thank you,
without
Keen Mind.
without much error.
And I have the mushroom spores.
And I'm a dwarf.
There you go.
I
Nobody's getting
hit
off.
things.
I
I
just
break things.
follow.
But on the way
Just
back,
follow.
one of the things that you start to notice is there's a significant increase in debris, and that debris being um, all sorts of uh, what you start to recognize as broken pieces of, say, shield handles or bolts or chunks of armor or stuff like that.
Ah,
And the closer you get back to the city, the more prevalent that sort of thing is. And you start to see essentially bodies in various states along the way. Apparently, the fighting did not stay away. No,
Fighting for who's the dead bodies on there? Is it our side or their side?
Or a mixture.
you raised your hand, and I'm like, this is not a check for trap scenario.
Or
No,
I
it's not
or and I
checking.
rifled or and I
This was
rifled the
a
bodies.
rifling. Is this?
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
um,
You're gonna get one of those daggers, whether you like it or not.
Yes, I am. Is there sort of spider bodies around?
Oh,
no,
my God.
no. Um, it is a mix. There's a random mishmash as you go, sometimes a literal mish or mash.
Ooh.
Um, but the closer you get, there's smoke that's filtering through tunnels. It's really you for the short time you have been gone, there is a significant amount of destruction.
jeez.
And we're going to go to ye old owl bear for anyone that's not there already.
Hey. Oh,
Oh my.
hey now.
Don't dream, it's over.
Oh,
Ew.
Hey now. Hey now.
so as you come back, you can see the down gate, which is towards the top of the page, uh,
Is down.
Yes.
which is where you departed from.
It's a
Yeah.
crater.
Yes.
Oh
Well,
my God. God's above. What happened?
Um, the essentially the city has all of the markings of just being absolutely shattered, but it still appears to be in the hands of the elves.
I see that the spiders have surrounded the cathedral.
Well, they were always there.
I see the statue is broken.
Yeah, the statue
That's-
is trashed. Yeah.
Yeah, they took some damage.
So the
Man, what a bad time to not have the mending cantrip anymore.
I think the bad day to quit sniffing glue.
um
Jeez.
the one thing that as you drag yourselves back in, you do see there are still armed elves. There's still a number of folks that essentially look like the troops. They do see you, they do notice you, but they do not bother coming over, as you are at least vaguely recognized. And as you move further in, one of the things that you do also notice is across the tops of some of the other smaller buildings in between, one of the larger structures on the opposite side, you don't see the top of that structure from where you are at the crater that was Downgate. And with the memory and the memorization, Elsbeth would recognize where that was a place that the elves called the Woven Den. But the more critical factor about the Woven Den was that it was essentially the smithy headquarters, if you will.
Ah,
That
Their
is weapons manufacturing HQ, or was before it
Was,
became a crater.
what
Wow.
kind of firepower did they have?
Clearly, we did not kill out the higher up.
Oh
Or
no,
we
we got a
did.
good.
Or we did, and this was just the kind of return fire that the city drew. And it's very good that we killed a good chunk of the higher ups.
Yeah.
But there's more to come.
Inevitably.
There's always more to come.
So, as you stroll back in, one of Duthen's assistants actually sees you and comes to greet you. It's good to see that you survived. Please, come with me. And leads you to basically an empty building. The assistant brings you in and says, "You may have the use of this building, at least temporarily, as no one else will be back to reclaim this. Feel free to rest. I will come back, and we will organize discussions with who remains."
How large were the casualties?
Something that we can discuss later, but significant. So, with that, you are essentially given what amounts to a house, that you have the ability to get into, rest, recuperate. So it will give you the opportunity to do your long rest.
Yay.
Thea is quite squishy right now. We definitely need long rest before anything.
So there is uh there's still a lot going on. It's actually really a bit odd. I mean, for essentially what amounts to a day-ish, day and a half-ish of time,
Yeah.
um there's been significant destruction, and there's activity, but also it's down here without sunshine, the cycle of the sunshine. You're like, I'm not sure exactly what time it is and what everyone's shift is. Well, Dundon doesn't have a problem. Dungeon's like, oh, sure, I know where we're at. But everyone else is kind of like, time of day is it?
Technically, I know that too.
It's mushroom time. That's all I need to worry about.
There you go.
So this gives you the opportunity to do your long rest to behind the scenes finish the character leveling up. Yay.
Mhm.
And are there any other immediate things?
Nothing other than rounding the wagons and figuring out what the fuck we want to do.
Okay. So we will say long rest has been achieved with no interruptions. Everybody can refuel based on that long rest. And definitely bringing the aches and pains as you recover.
Ouch.
You now have time to settle in and do whatever it is that you need to do.
So Thea only needs about 4 hours to be considered for my reset. So
No,
while
that's
the
how much sleep you need. You still need another few hours of light activity, but you only need to sleep for 4 hours.
okay.
So we're still chilling for at least 8.
There you go.
Get some light reading in.
And actually, you see Iadu seemingly communing with his halberd and practicing some sort of hand gesture. You're not sure, and he can't seem to get it right. And he's looking at the halberd and just with this perplexed look on his face.
Thea's
Go
just
ahead,
gonna
outsmart you.
Medjit is just gonna say, I find when they're just talking unreasonable, you just walk away. They're like toddlers.
It's teaching me.
Huh.
Oh,
Is it teaching you anything good?
As soon as I can do it, I will show you.
Works for me.
At which point you hear him utter something under his breath that is not appropriate for young children.
Thea, headphones.
I was gonna say, sorry, Elspeth.
Yes, we have to protect your virgin ears, Thea.
nice.
Well, after sufficient rest, I want to see if I can find the blind guy. See if he survived.
The guy that led us to.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Theo was talking to him before he ended up leading us.
Okay.
But I'm going back. I have to figure out his name. I forgot what it is.
Well, you hadn't given him a nickname that's totally not his name?
Well, I probably did, but I don't remember what it is right now. You gotta give me a sec. No, I don't. Maybe I did. I don't know.
R.I.P. Tortuga. Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
The guy with the site who told me was the one who leaked
His
about the
name
whole
was
site.
Shenrik.
Shenrik. There we go.
As I explicitly have it in my notes, blindfolded philosopher dude who flirts with Thea.
Ah, that's not considered light activity.
What, flirting or Thea?
Yes.
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 You never know what you get out of people flirting. I got a little, what was it? The dream token thing that y'all
God.
took from me.
Because you can't be trusted with anything vaguely mystical.
I have quite a few things mystical. They do just
Yet
fine.
and yet she has the daggers.
For now.
For
Speaking
now.
of, you do still have some other things.
Yeah, I do. I just haven't, not the right time yet.
Oh, dear.
That's ominous.
There's one thing that I don't remember if it was clear when you picked up all the things. out of all the loot that if I said that it was there or not, and I don't remember.
What is it?
There is a Crimson Crescent token about this big. In the middle of it, it looks as if it's almost like there's a little glass vial in the middle that has a liquid that sort of shakes back and forth, but there's no stopper, there's no opening.
I just have that I have Crimson Crescent coins. I have 40 of them. I have Crimson Crescent symbol that's just specialized, but I don't have deeper detail other than specialized.
I
And
think
then
that,
Crimson Feathers and Crimson Antlers and 3 Talons.
so
I think that's all I have of
the
them.
specialized token, I think that's what it is.
Well, hold on. I need to add that description then, because that's a way better description than Crimson Crescent symbol specialized.
Oh yeah, I have a chunk of loot that we got from the loot chest as well listed out.
If I may ask a bookkeeping question very quickly. Eric, you mentioned an old spell for like speed reading. Could I take that because it was a cantrip?
What was it?
Oh, this was forever ago. I don't remember what it was called, but it was something about being able to like read really fast.
Or I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
Help me remember that. Because that sounds terrifying that you could speed read and then have your book walk behind you and do things.
Oh, it doesn't do that much.
Okay.
Well, we can go into details later. Yeah, for those of us watching at home, me, because I know I will watch this later, I did change my sunglass for story reasons.
Nice. So yeah, you have that. You also have all of the various maps and information regarding what their troop movements were, things like that.
Yeah, we got all sorts of fun
All sorts of
intelligence.
papers. Elsbeth, you are in possession of uh, the personal journal for, I'm gonna mispronounce it again. Dagu? Is that how you pronounce it?
Dagu. Yeah.
Dagu.
Like the pasta sauce.
It is.
That goo. It's in
Well,
there.
that and when you squish him, he becomes dad goo. Yeah.
Woo! So you have Dadgu's personal journal,
Mhm.
Made him past tense.
and Azathan has his new spell book along with other things.
Mhm.
The next question is, what's next for you? What's everyone? What's the plan? Where's everyone going?
Well, we got a map of all the other groves and locations. We didn't intend on giving them all of the information that we had at our disposal.
No.
Though, seeing the condition that they're in, that might change. Because
Yeah.
No, we do not care about them. They do not care about us. No. Sorry, I had to grab a Pop-Tart.
no,
We'll play it by ear. We saw some on the way here.
giving some good faith information may give us a net benefit in the long run.
Mm,
It depends on who's still here, because if it's still that one alchemy, that lead alchemy admin, she can go fuck herself. But if fucking Davidian is still here, he's getting some good information. The one fucking useful elf here.
fair.
Please let the record show that 2 of our party are elves, so he has just thrown half the party under the bus with that statement.
Oh, my elf does not like my elf family, so There is zero love lost on elves right now with
No,
between
no.
No, no, that's fine. That's it. I don't fucking like most of us, anyways. And our present company has not helped that.
Oh.
You're fine. You're an exception.
But she did not want. She's not the only elf that was helpful down here.
No, so far only one of them has been.
Either you get it or he's ignoring it, or they don't get it. Whatever.
Ignoring it. Only one of them. And besides, they're quite
I think
clearly
Thea
not like
finally
us.
realized what I was saying.
Besides, they're quite clearly not like us.
We're special.
They're warped. I just don't have another name for them right now.
Old.
Wrong.
Fair.
Oh wait, did our proficiency bonus go up?
No, did not.
It did
You're
not.
not having my Pop Tart.
Um,
Sorry, you distracted me with the map thing.
I'm the map.
I think once we resolve this, we head back up to. We head back up topside, go back to our house. Our house.
There's one.
The one in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
With the 80s references just rolling along.
Right?
It's like I lived it.
I think no matter what I think no matter what, we'll need to return to the surface before we can continue on anywhere else.
I'm not digging us all the way over
That's why we're
No.
going to return the way we came, back out through the arena and then back home.
Do you think they're gonna let us just walk right out?
I might think they would.
I don't think they have the means to stop us for long.
And we didn't do anything to upset them. They seemed to be okay with us leaving. I think if we came back only to tell them we were leaving again, they might like it.
They didn't seem too keen on us here in the first place.
Yeah.
We were seen as a useful asset, and now I don't want to find out if we've outlived our usefulness to them.
But I didn't find a spider body yet.
there.
I'm sure you'll have plenty of opportunities in the future.
You
I
better
think
be
we
right.
need I think we need to go back up to the surface, return to our home. I don't want to discuss these plans in depth in unfamiliar places.
Only thing I'd say is, are there any tomes of information or library type things that would only exist down here? We need to make sure that we don't have to come back here after having just left.
I'm
Yeah.
sure if there's any immediate bits of information that
That was my point.
Thea and I could make some withdrawals from the library.
Oh, that's where I was going, but let's make sure we do it before we leave. That's all.
Yes,
Happy to assist.
yes, I imagine you would be.
So, as you're having your discussions and chatting and making the plans, you reach a point and you hear knocking at the door.
Oh,
It is the assistant again. Please, if you could join us, we would like to have some discussions.
Certainly.
lead on, Macbeth. Big tough.
The assistant leads you back over to the ore board, which is where you were before, where the alchemical labs are.
Yep.
And they don't bring you any further than essentially the main entry hall, where there's a table set up, and there are a handful of people who are just kind of there. Like, this is the meeting room. This is as far as anyone goes. This is it. Give me, particularly Azathan and Thea, give me perception rolls, please.
Perception?
Yes, please.
Very nice. That is a 24.
I got 29.
It occurs to both of you as you stroll in two important things. Important thing number one, everybody at this table is Elven. There are no, even though you have seen others in passing, nobody else in here but elves,
Oh dear.
other than you guys. Second thing, everybody at this table is female. There are no men. There are no male elves at this table. One of the more prominently seated ones, the alchemist you don't like.
Fuck.
That's fine.
Now, were there male elven guards anywhere within the room? Attendants, whatever?
Not that you're noticing.
Okay, so literally the only people in the room, not just at the table.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to know? I have a glitter bomb.
Not that
Do
kind.
not glitter bomb the table of angry elven women.
You remember how you said we weren't going to be fighting much tonight?
Yeah, why don't we find out what the ladies have to say to us and you know.
But then all the invisible people, you know how many is in the room with us.
Yeah, ideally, I'd like to get through this conversation without having to find out at all.
Yeah, I only want overt presence, not covert presence.
But just in case, I got it. I'm
I'm
ready.
Noted.
Duly noted you're packing. Now go sit down, Wyatt Earp.
Beautiful.
Oh god.
That is a
I was thinking
wonderful thought.
Sundance, but okay.
You completely derailed my serious nature of the conversation and everything else. You're like, I could glitter bomb their ass.
We have lights in here, right?
Yes, we can see.
It is dim. There's not a lot of light.
That's fine. I can switch back to
And-
my goggles of the sun.
For the contrast, there used to be other male elves just kind of integrated everywhere, right?
Well,
Well, I mean,
So-
NIMBY was there.
what's that?
There was
Nimby.
NIMBY.
Yes. But you don't know necessarily the nature of the group that you were talking with before
Okay.
versus this group. And one of the elves stands and says, "Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for helping us in our defeat of the cult in this area. We would wish to give you some boon, some assistance, but as you have seen in coming back to the city, we are not in a position where we have excess.
War is expensive. You're right.
We would, in fact, like to offer you each a token that you could use in any situation where you would need something from the Weavers in the future. Because we do appreciate the work that you have done. And we believe that our organization will be able to move forward. But, and as she hesitates, you see at least one of the others kind of turn and do that like nasty side eye
At who?
at the one who's speaking.
Huh.
I'd like to open the site.
Okay.
Oh,
As you do that, You don't need the glitter bomb. Each of the people here have a really strong aura, and they all have this. It's almost as if they've got a developed dark streak that looks a lot like they've sort of been practicing with their own aura to
Okay.
develop a look, if you will. Um, and you do see there is magic behind them, but there's enough of it that it's sort of mishmashing together to become sort of the wall of noise. You can't pick specifics out of it, but you would not rule out that one or more of them have some hidden individual behind them or helper on some
Yeah.
of some magical.
But they don't appear to be under any sort of magical effects themselves.
Absolutely not.
And they're not illusions of horrifying monsters actually who've infiltrated. Okay, I just was curious if they were being handled.
Not at all.
Okay.
This is from your political point of view, having grown up in that category back before you left home.
Yes.
This has all of the earmarks of somebody new has taken over and everybody is going to be in line, or everyone is going to be in line.
Got it.
You're either going to help me out or I'm going to help you out.
Right. There has clearly been some sort of decision that has been made, and they are wrapping it up. This is it. But it is something that it's something that kind of you're like, wow, how did they manage to do that? Like, there's each of them has a particular thing, and it all looks very similar. Their aura all have this one particular piece, almost as like it's a hook.
Who's taking point in our party in the conversation? Who?
Nobody
Not
so
the
far.
We haven't said a word. We're listening so
Okay.
We're
far.
listening.
Nobody has actually piped up.
I'm a
Thea said-
dwarf. I don't think it would be wise.
Thea
only
said
good-
something about expense.
I'll take the lead in this conversation.
Mm.
Well, it seems like you might not be the right gender to take the lead of this conversation.
Oh,
Probably not wrong, but that would make you the next best option. And fuck if we're not going to try that for me first.
Come on.
I mean, we could always have
What could go wrong?
Elsbeth talk. I mean, how
You
bad
never
could she
know. I
mess
could
it up?
surprise you.
Every time I listen, I've met disappointments of all shapes and sizes, but every time you surprise us, we find the next biggest disappointment.
Just keeps handing you a shovel.
That's glorious.
They keep making things foolproof, and then we keep finding bigger fools.
Right?
You've
I don't know. There's always Elsbeth.
been
I
sharpening
think-
your skills.
Yeah, but then they'll be
That's-
treating us like the hired help. That's why I haven't even offered.
Right?
I recognize at this point I got
We're-
nothing here because I am just hired help.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
no, I
Elsbeth's
think
got the whole, royal background going for her. She could probably play some.
Yeah, but you
Well,
think
First off,
if-
we want to know if this favor is actually worth anything. Is this like a lower level grunt can go get her coffee
Well,
for
that's
us?
why I wanted to know
or
who
is
was
this
leading the
like,
conversation.
oh,
Yeah,
we
Yeah,
but
that's why I
actually
wanted
have
to
a
know who
favor.
was leading the conversation, so I could like sort of lean over and whisper.
that would probably be me because I at least have more experience with the Weavers since I've dealt with them before.
Yeah, and that I'm willing to accept that. So it's just sort of the
There we
lean,
go.
subtly lean over and mutter into your ear, "Change of leadership."
What kind of allow me to thank you for having us. We appreciate your generosity and understand that it can be difficult. We are sorry for the losses that you experienced.
He is
We
just
can only
gonna
hope.
look at Azathan as he's starting this and just like,
You feel a hand on your shoulder, Thea.
I was gonna stomp on her foot.
No, you're over with Azathan. We
Yeah,
are paired
fair.
up.
Yeah.
We hope that at least some of the information that we can provide is of value. If you will give me a moment, I need to confer something with my companions. And then I have a few other questions, if I may.
Please.
I'm gonna turn back to Yadu real quick and just kind of lean in and whisper. Do you still need your dad's head?
Yes. I
Okay.
have to return it to the Red Lady.
Is there any?
I can show it, but I must take the full intact head to the Red Lady.
Okay. May I? You will get this back.
Mhm.
Okay. I will take the head in a bag, just as return first. First, just as proof of the deed, I will remove the head from the bag, display it,
You get a raised eyebrow.
return it. Proof is worth more than 1,000 words. And I will return the bag immediately to Yadu.
Okay, I put it back in the family plan.
he is gonna pipe up. Proof's also worth more than like a measly minor favor.
My
Ah.
God, why does she talk?
That was my related to my follow-up question. Forgive my companion.
Her
No.
rashness.
No, there's no need. She waves at you like this. So, Thea, is it?
Mhm.
I have a special token for you. Not an underling. Not a low-level anything. She actually takes it off of her own head
My
and hands you the pendant that she's wearing.
Please let that be a necklace of strangulation.
The irony would be crushing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just gotta stay in one piece. That's okay. I have my reset. We're good.
mm.
This will get you in communication with me. However,
Mm.
it is a one-time use. And that is all. Our city is moving. We are going deeper and spreading out. I am in charge now, and things will be different. When you want to lead your group back here, say the word. And she hands you the pendant. And it's gorgeous. You don't recognize the metal, but it is an absolutely gorgeous spiderweb pendant.
Ooh. He is just gonna add it to around my neck.
The stack.
Put it on the
Yeah.
keychain.
No symbols.
Cling. Here it hit the other things.
Oh dear God.
I'm sure we'll see you around.
We fucking better not.
So, there are some ministers who would wish to discuss with you any maps and logistics and things of that nature. But, with our thanks, please, you are free to do as you will, depart when you will. Thank you.
And then we fuck off.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready to turn around and go.
Cool. So as you head back out, there are a number of soldier-looking types outside who do endeavor to, at various points try to round you up and basically like, is there any information you can give us? They want to kind of pour over any kind of maps you're willing to give up, things like that, so that they can start to estimate various aspects of what it is that they need to do.
At which point I lean over to Azthan and just say, whatever you're willing to give up, say nothing of Thardel.
Wouldn't consider it.
Because we do have information on them that needs to stay ours.
I think I'm going to deflect any of those requests until we get back to the house. We need a little bit. Give us some time.
How are we going to get it to them if they're leaving? This whole town is up and moving.
It won't take us long. We need like an hour.
Oh, so you're saying here, not up in
Back to
Lithia.
our building.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
saying
you.
we're getting back to the temporary house here.
Okay.
Go back, sort through documents, get everything organized, prepare for our
Last
trip
refresh.
home.
Yeah.
And then we give them some paperwork on the way out that they can chew through.
Mm-hmm. Especially places we know we're not going, I think is also helpful because that way they can be stirring up trouble in places while we go and do what we're going to do.
Agreed. Yep. They'll be used as a diversion far more often than they want to.
They're good at that. Look what they did for us.
Right?
Yes, at steep cost, which, as far as I'm concerned, makes them. If I were the political sort, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I do not disagree.
So we're going to get back to the temporary house, sort out the need to know information from the stuff we can easily give them. Put that in a small pamphlet, get our shit separated, and go the fuck back to the
you want to basically hand over like here's a dossier of everything we found.
We're not giving the whole kit and caboodle.
No, I know that. I can write it. Is my point.
Oh,
let me write it out.
Yeah.
We're taking a chunk of the information that we picked up and gathered from their office, troop movements, logistics, stuff that's immediately relevant to their conflict here. But anything on Thardel, anything on the other groves, anything that would be beneficial to us in the long run, we're keeping very close to chest.
Had any of you, I forget which. I think I have shown you the global map previously.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
But it was sort of in passing at a glance sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the location of the other groves?
Yes.
Yes. You briefly showed it to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But was it, do you remember, was it all the same size little markers?
I don't remember.
I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry.
I thought there was different
sizes.
There were different colors.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the information that is on the map you possess now.
Oh, wait. Yeah, because you said there were different sizes and shapes for like major groves and then the smaller subgroves.
And one of them's in Trokal.
And we didn't want to give them that map. Yeah.
Wasn't one of them in the ocean?
Yes, there was one that is in the middle of what is currently considered an ocean.
Yeah. Okay.
And then one was outside of Iadu's hometown, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask. I've got a very specific question for the GM. While we know that it's within Thardel, how close is it to Lumasa Keep, which is the capital?
Pretty.
Wait, was
close.
Lumasa Keep the capital of Thardel? Was that what you're saying?
Lumasa Keep is the seat of power. We don't really have a term capital because we don't have a term Congress and we don't have a term representation.
But
the leader be there is about, so we call it a seat of power rather than, but same concept.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a Thardelian ambassador because, well, I'm Thardelian. I'm an ambassador just like everybody else.
Gotcha. Okay.
Fair enough. So Yeah, we'll keep the need to know information for ourselves, create a pamphlet, let Elspeth do her thing. Um, and then pass that off to them, pass off the not as useful pamphlet to them on our way out.
Okay.
And I can get us back to the surface.
It takes it takes you a little while. There's a lot to sort through. You give them a pretty significant amount. The stuff that you're keeping doesn't really amount to a huge volume wise.
Mm-hmm.
They get the bulk of it because it's all about things down here, tunnel workings and
Yeah.
movements and
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. And they are absolutely thrilled. They think it's the greatest thing, and they start immediately divvying stuff up to start pouring over all of this. This is a major take for them.
As a demonstration for the other characters, when Elspeth is basically given a sheet of papers to write everything down, she like snaps her fingers and a quill just appears, and then she just starts writing. No inkwell, it just starts writing.
Nice. Gotta love new power.
Hey, man.
So, when Elsbeth does that, give me a perception check. Elsbeth,
Oh, okay.
give me a perception check.
Perception. 19.
You are, if I remember correctly, I think everyone was wearing a chain now, correct? The
Yes.
gold chain around the ankle.
Yeah.
Your ankle itches.
Just
What,
Elvis?
right as I did that, or
Yep,
Just his or everyone's?
just Elsbeth.
Just the person activating magic.
Interesting.
It's like this place is becoming more destabilized.
yeah, sight? Because now I'm curious.
Well, remember the grove was damaged. We do have to repair it. So it would make sense that magic's
It wasn't
a little
damaged enough to
funky.
start destabilizing, though. It seemed to be initiating some sort of self-repair, at least on some level.
When you go to the site, what are you looking for?
I'm looking to see why is my ankle suddenly itching? Why is the magic energy flowing?
You ever see somebody who gets stung by a bee who's allergic?
No, I have not.
Yep.
You get that little red line that starts traveling from that site.
Yep.
You have that in your aura
Oh, dear.
coming from the chain.
Interesting.
Mutiny.
The hell does that mean?
Is it the chain causing the problem, or is it the chain protecting you from full-on anaphylaxis?
These are good questions. There are so many different leads that we need to pursue, but right now we just need to get back to the surface and think.
I'm going to do the only bit of magic that I can. I'm going to open up a bottle of dwarven whiskey and drink some to make it disappear. Does my ankle start itching?
No, but your ankle feels fine.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Well,
So
once I finish writing,
it's just you.
I'm gonna finish writing and then I'm gonna dismiss the quill. Does the itching stop?
Yeah, it eases up a little bit.
Oh, thank goodness.
You look off, Elspeth. What's up?
Is anyone's legs feeling weird?
Mine's feeling pretty good.
What do you mean weird? What
I
happened?
just pictured the jelly roll dance, and then I just pictured the characters doing it, and it vastly amused me for a second. So I had to share that with the class so you guys
Yes,
could picture that.
Elspeth. Yeah, Elspeth doing stanky leg kind of, concerns me.
I summoned a quill
Hmm.
and my chain reacted.
Reacted how?
It's itchy.
Okay.
Did you shower?
We're been underground.
I splash his leg with some whiskey. Does
What?
that help?
Fair.
Now you're wet.
It's antiseptic. It's antiseptic.
Now Elsbeth is moist.
No, I used Mage Hand to stop it.
But
Okay,
no.
you use Mage Hand?
Yeah, does it happen again?
Yes, it does.
I
Interesting.
splash his leg with whiskey.
I'm all for experimentation, but I don't think that's helping us in the long run.
Right.
Dundon's like, shot for me, shot for
Shot for
Sherman.
Elsbeth,
It's like holy water, but it's
Something.
whiskey.
it's antiseptic.
So the magic ear is becoming unstable.
No, because I don't think it is. Because I
Or
didn't see
something
any
is-
distortion when I opened the site.
Correct.
What did you see?
Uh, some sort of reaction around my grounding chain.
Do you think that might be a consequence from what you're delving and dabbling earlier?
I'm starting to suspect that maybe I was exposed to something.
Hmm.
So remember, they do have the aura changing because I ran into that with one monster.
Hmm. This seems more innate than something active.
I'm going to cast light through my gloves. Because the
Still
gloves
makes-
have the ability to cast light.
Still makes you itch.
Interesting. So it's either magic around you, magic that is innate.
So you do magic. Are you itchy?
I haven't tried.
Is
Maybe you got the
the
disease.
is the reaction expanding the more I'm experimenting, or is it just a
Yeah.
oh
Oh.
fuck?
Lovely.
Yeah, well, keep drinking that poison and see what happens.
Right?
Okay, final test. Azathan, do something minor, something that won't cause damage.
Yes, let's all be itchy.
No. It'll be fine. I'm going to move away from Elspeth, and I'm just going to put my hand on a wall. There's wood somewhere in the structure, right?
Little bit, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go find that, and I'm going to. They said they're moving the city. I don't have to worry this much. And I'm going to place my hand on the wooden beam and cast Infestation.
Jesus.
Listen,
I
these
love how you're
mushrooms are going to
leaving
grow
with the-
one way or another.
And now you have mushrooms in your house.
It's not my house.
True.
Am I feeling any sort of response?
Nope.
Am I feeling anything?
Nope.
I'm
Okay,
feeling pretty good.
so this is an Elsbeth problem. Okay,
Dundon, I feel great. Have another shot. Woo.
listen.
I'm
I'm
feeling
Going
not
to
carrying
take off
you.
the grounding chain for now.
I'm just, this is
Okay.
my long rest period.
The itching goes away immediately.
Interesting.
Is there any change to the chain as I examine it?
No.
Interesting. So you are currently struggling when you're grounded.
Which means whatever I touched down there.
Didn't anyone teach you to keep your hands to yourself?
You are
you're
the
not supposed to
last
touch the-
person.
You're not supposed to touch things down there.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
I mean, our guy did, and look at him. He's blind now.
Right? Too much touching down there.
Is my aura changed?
Yes.
Let me take a look.
How?
Does he have one of those little hooky things like the
I
others?
will step into the site.
I'm
and
sorry,
take a
I
look.
should know that.
His aura does have a bit of a
Her.
tint. Her aura, sorry. Her aura has a bit of a tint.
A tint similar to like what kind of tint? Because there's like mine, which has a attached with necromancy, but what kind of?
It's vaguely crimson.
Mm.
Hmm. I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Bad first. I'm gonna want to pick me up later.
Uh, the bad news is your aura is changed. You are now a little bit more crimson. I would imagine that has everything to do with you fucking around with the things that I explicitly said don't touch anything with. But that's a detail for later. Secondly, the good news is A, I'm sure it's fixable. I'm sure it's fixable. And B, if it was me, I wouldn't be able to see it anyways.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Giving. Ah, color blindness.
Yes, it's a hell of a thing. But so your aura is different.
Well, that
It-
confirms what I thought. That
Yes.
what I found down there was the chained one.
And now that
At least
you've
it
established,
strongly supports it.
I can agree. And now that you've made contact, it seems like it made contact with you. And I imagine it made more of an impression.
It's giving him scritches.
Well, you
And the
can't
more
even ground yourself anymore, which
And-
means you're also more vulnerable to any kind of magical instabilities in the future.
and the more you use magic, the more the chained one can sink its teeth into you, perhaps? Something to
Maybe.
consider.
All I gotta say is her big guy is way worse than the one I had. So
No.
yes,
You
yes,
don't get
yes.
you don't get a whataboutism way out of all of your
Yeah.
I
nonsense.
didn't make a willing pact.
I
And
didn't
then not
willingly
even
know what
bother
I
to-
was doing, Lee.
You didn't even bother to ask their name. What part of like you get
It sounds like
No.
it was supposed to be a one night stand, and it kind of has attachments.
usually
Okay.
they just call
The
that
problem.
herpes, but you know,
Yeah,
We need to
amongst
get to
other
the
things.
surface.
yes, we need to get to the surface. We need to figure this out. Be gentle with your casting for a while. Especially if you can't ground yourself, and we're going to inevitably deal with more of this magical instability. We will need to understand the nature of your change in further depth so you don't become a hazard to yourself and those around you.
Man with the arm.
Okay. It is a lengthy journey on the way back. It does take a couple of days because it's just slow going. Coming in was seems to you that coming in was so much easier. Going out is a slog.
Every day it's mushroom stew. Sorry.
At least I can cook.
Yes.
You do make your way back to the surface, and you can tell you have been down there for a while. And Dundon have that moment of like, oh, here we go. It's light out there.
Yeah.
It's
Dundon
bright,
gets the night worker experience.
right?
Yeah.
You essentially you all come back out, and even though it's the time of day when you come back out, it's essentially getting later in the evening, so activity is starting to pick up at um the arena,
Hippodrome.
The Hippodrome.
the hippodrome.
Hippopotamus.
It's still light. You're still like, wow, super bright out today. So you really get a sense that whatever it is that the elves have going on down there, it is making a change. because you felt it in just a very short time.
Yeah.
Although Dundon's like, what a nice vacation.
Elspeth out here is wearing her sunglasses at night.
Yep. Looking good too. Okay. So back to the hippodrome. Unless you feel a need to stop, gamble, whatever.
No.
Vacate.
What's up?
Vacate.
Yep.
I thought you
Sober.
said vaguely.
No.
You all grab
Boat.
one of the boats. One of the folks makes sure that you get back to an area where you can traverse back across Lithia. It is super late by the time you get back to your house, but your house is still there. It is still standing. Your wards are still in place.
Woohoo!
Oh, good.
There you go.
The first place I go is the basement.
Okay. Very mushroomy down there.
Very much for me.
Sort of moist.
All of my alchemical ingredients are there.
Yep.
And the first thing I'm doing is I'm just taking all of the stuff that I've gathered and all of the mushroom spores and such from that I'd collected from down around the root and everything else, and just kind of casting it into the room. So that will have plenty of room to grow.
Okay.
And I'll have some new mushrooms. I
Okay.
need to find the myconids.
True. Any other particulars at this point?
There's two branches of initial research and projects I'd like to start.
Okay.
Well, one more pressing is the fuck is happening to me. I
Okay.
will be tomorrow morning going to the Spire and going, oh God, something's happened. But, thought I had earlier today is the site is extremely, intense. But we know there are individuals who can just straight constantly channel it without going insane.
At other expense, yes.
I'm wondering if I might be able to create a pair of lenses that can do a similar effect of being able to use the sight without it being quite so intense and searing into the mind.
That is a super interesting thing. Like you would make some kind of create a magic item.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely. You can start research that.
yes.
Cool.
Now that I know it's possible to be exposed to something like that without shredding your psyche completely, there has to be a way to wind that down. That way I could give it to, say, Thea or Dundon so they can understand, hey, this is what's going on.
Almost like sunglasses, but for the site.
Yeah. Something that lets you see in that spectrum, but protect you at the same time.
That'd be cool.
That is cool.
Great.
Normally, I just have to drink a lot of whiskey.
That and the site gets a little bit wobbly, anyways.
It does. It does. You start
Yeah,
having
but regular
some trouble.
regular sight gets wobbly at that point too, so it's all the same.
It all just kind of
But
blends
he's got
together.
his boots, so it keeps him steady. He's
They
good.
do.
That is true. He does.
If there's two of them in a fight, they get a little blurry. He's got an axe for each of them. It's okay.
It's all good.
On the oh God, what is happening to me front? How responsive are the gods to prayers?
You have been sort of the Christmas and Easter variety from your religion for most of your life. So
Yes, but
Also, you follow Nox, right?
correct.
So fuck off.
you don't have enough personal experience with it to say whether or not it could be a direct thing. Do a knowledge roll for me.
Religion?
Yep.
Point to clarity. I say that, should have articulated that more clearly. Isn't Knox generally really well known for just not being responsive to anybody, even his more devout clergy?
Um,
I thought Knox was a.
Knox is a very complex religion, and it is super huge because it is all over. There is a Temple of Knox basically everywhere.
Hmm.
So your theories, your all the different things that you hear are things that could vary based on who, essentially, well, who's running the temple in that area, and is that person worthy of a response, and is there really a need, and
Yes. But straightforwardly is this is scary. And while Knox is a god of death, it's something to sit there and go, this is something I faced death several times and I'm scared. So I'm talking to
You would fall back on your faith even if you were an Easter, Christmas kind of thing.
kind of.
right.
It's the reason.
So
Elspeth has a come to Jesus moment.
There are no atheists in foxholes.
so
Yeah.
the question, the reason I asked you, did you do your roll?
Yes, I just did.
What'd you get?
Religion. That's a very good sign. 26.
It occurs to you that while Knox is would be the one that you would lean on,
hmm
you have that moment because you've encountered various brief pieces. You have that moment where you're like, oh, oh no, I have to maybe find the dreamers, the cult of the dreamers.
Fuck.
Because you had encountered that. Um, I think Thea gets stabbed by a poison needle. That
Yep,
Yep.
that's the steamy dragon temple.
Yep. And it just clicked back into place. You thought about it, and you're like, oh man,
Well,
Oh,
I
I have a
have
bracelet for you if you need it.
because they are exactly that. Like, get into a trance, do the thing, communicate. That's 100% the stuff you hear from them.
well, I've
Right.
got good news. I still have an envelope of powder.
No, right.
I actually
Oh.
have I actually have a suspicious number of envelopes of various powders.
Oh,
No
and then I have
anthrax.
their little trinkets that they like to pray with.
I
Thea does the whole like, wait,
No,
wait.
the
Oh, there
dream
it is.
guide. The dream guide was a bracelet, so
There you
she
go.
has to go into my bag for that one.
I got something to get you in the mood to pray.
if you want to do this, we have the means to do this. I won't say correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in style.
Not
We get you there.
If you want to conduct a ritual in order for this, I can assist with that. There are, even if I don't have the exact things, ritual magic is one half intention, one half practice.
Yes.
So even if we don't have their exact methodology, we can likely find something very similar to get you what you're looking
Yeah.
for.
Let me talk to my peers first.
By all means. You're going back to the spire then, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. appears. Interesting.
They gave me the pin. I'm a member.
That's right.
True. True.
Oh,
Um, okay, back at the house, you've got all your stuff in, you have your research plan.
And then we need to have a big powwow on bigger plans.
yes.
But that's another time.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
We're in like a town, like town, right?
We're
We're
back
in
in
a
Lithia
city.
back in
proper.
Lithia.
That's like the bigger city, right? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
we're
yeah.
back in the big city.
The big
Yeah.
city. Okay.
Yeah, at your house.
Okay.
Yes, on the island. Don't go through the normal channels because they will frisk you out of everything you own. Go by
Yes,
boat.
yes. Now I'm
Still no
remembering.
sign of turtle.
We're pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah, we're pretty
Yeah,
sure
well.
he's turtle soup.
I mean, he may have gotten some extra spores on himself. I don't know.
Well, I figure that might be fun to dig through because, avenging turtle. That and we can find out the information on, or
And
maybe
mouse.
find out. Because we didn't give them the Starlight. We didn't give them the book they were after.
We have not yet, no.
So I think trying to find out and track down Mouse, and he's probably very dead. But
Yeah, we're pretty sure Mouse dead.
But that is less and less of a problem.
Zed's dead, baby.
Yeah. What else? What else have we gathered up that I can? Because
Yeah,
we
let's
gathered
go
notes,
quicker.
we gathered scrolls.
We need to Lithia. That means we need to stop by our business and collect our upgraded fee.
It's only been a couple of days.
Yeah.
You greedy.
Oh, it has.
Yes.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
my
yes,
time distortion didn't
these-
track with
Yeah,
that.
it's the inner outer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a place where it takes 5 minutes to travel 500 miles and then takes 500 hours to get through one place in a day.
Yeah, I was a little distorted there.
Yeah.
But Thea would like at some point to find if I can find on merchants or anything about the luck god that we just encountered one of the previous times ago, their little shrine.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, we could probably go back to. Actually, we might want to revisit that old temple.
I would love to revisit
Yes.
that old temple.
Before
Wait.
all of that, everyone give me your new shit.
See, I didn't get any new shit.
I have nothing to give.
Yes, you do.
I have nothing to give.
You don't want that ring identified?
Oh, fuck. Give me a second.
Just put
Ring.
it on.
Hold on.
Would you say it's precious?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go push you in a river sometime.
Nice.
That arm does look vaguely Smeagolish.
I actually, hold on. I'm trying to remember what ring it was.
No, we
Because
going
also
back-
got a bunch of potions from
Yeah,
so Dead
from
Soup.
the loot I have listed are 4 potion bottles, an
Yes.
eye patch, ebony leather, a mock eye with a ruby, and a moonstone eye. And then a jeweled bottle stopper.
You also have your ring, and there's actually a pair of slippers as well.
All right, then I will hand over the ring and the slippers.
And do you want me to take a closer look at the Stone Reaver?
Probably wouldn't hurt to get a little bit of knowledge.
Okay. I almost took Legend Lore as a spell on our level up, but that has such an exorbitant gold cost.
I think we can. How much gold is
Not
it?
like we're hurting for gold, though.
God, I have to look it up, but it requires special incense and sticks, all that have a gold cost, all of which are consumed by the spell.
Which is fine. And for something like Dundon's new weapon, I think that would be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the Twilight Codex type. When we get books like that, it could be handy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Spell 17.
Okay, so you hand over the ring and the slippers.
Identifies all around.
Okay, so the slippers are spider climb.
Ooh.
Thank you. I'll take those. Those are useful.
And the ring, which really is a very unusual but oddly attractive gold and purple metal twist to form the ring, is very magical.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a ring of mind shielding.
Taking.
Now, there is something else when you do the identify, there's something else to it, and you can't quite figure it out, even with identify. But it is decidedly mind shielding.
Okay.
I know what you're suggesting, Eric, because I know that item well.
I don't know that it is necessarily the same.
Maybe, maybe not.
Are the other items like the eye patch, the mock eye, and the moonstone eye? Those are all just mundane items.
Yeah, those are the eye patch and the jeweled bottle stopper that you got
Yeah.
are just art objects. They're very
Mundane.
valuable art objects.
Yeah.
But they are just that. You did also find a short sword in there.
Yep.
Which turns out it's +3.
Ooh.
The Stone Reaver. Did I tell you, Dundon? Did I give you the plus on that?
I thought you said it was. I want to say you said +4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
real
yeah.
special.
But it is only +4 in the hands of a dwarf. And if you roll a critical, it also does damage to structure around you.
Oh, like we saw that in action.
Yes, we
Right.
did.
There's
Yeah.
one side that's a hammer, and the other side of that head is a chisel-like shape. And
Yeah.
if you roll a crit, it does structural damage.
Siege
good to know.
hammer.
Because I got a crit on 1920. So
Yeah. Yeah, you send something into the abyss doing that, yeah. Okay, so that's all the items. I would then like to cast Identify on myself to see if I am under the influence of anything unusual.
Yes, you
And
are.
what might that be?
It is directly attached to that journal. The journal that you took from Yadu's father.
Oh.
Identify the journal.
It's not the journal itself, but there's something in it.
Oh, is this what corrupted his mind and drove him mad?
But you really don't want to look a lot deeper. You kind of feel like that's enough, but you definitely want to keep it.
Yeah.
It's red and it's pretty.
Yadu!
Yes.
Maybe you need the ring of mind shielding at this point. Jesus.
That's actually not a bad
That might be why they had it.
Yeah,
But
we have a problem.
he didn't have it.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't. And he was
Right.
and he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, so
Is there anything I need to know about your father?
He wore size 13s like while on walks on the beach.
Hang on. I can offer what I
Pina
can.
coladas, getting caught in the rain.
So
Kicking your ass, taking your lunch money.
Vaguely genocidal.
Right.
Probably a Pisces. Like,
Hush. Enough out of
sorry.
you, Azathan. If I needed your opinion, I'd read your entrails. Elspeth.
Oh,
What I can tell you is the story of what I know of my father, both before and after I came along. My father was an upstanding member of our clan tribe and had married somebody of political influence within the tribe, and that became a vehicle for him to become more important to the tribe. So definitely he plays politics well when I first, when first we see Dagu. Over time, you see that the power begins to corrupt him. It becomes more about him and less about the welfare of those around him. I don't know where, and I point to the journal, I don't know where this came into his life, but I do not believe it was at that time. He was a man of few possessions, and I would have known growing up, I would have seen him with it. So it came along at some point. I don't know what you're holding, but it would have probably been after he met Melanira Varcel, who became Melanira Rabat. And that's when Dagu changed his name from Dagu Talon to Dagu Rabat. Rabat is actually a Crimson Crescent title, roughly translates to pain giver.
Mm.
You can see the change from a man who's deft with politics to a man who's now become obsessed with the giving of pain. It was at this point we find out later that he had become affiliated with the Crimson Crescent and with Melanira. He had my mom, Magra Talonay, assassinated. And her name actually, rather than being Talon, being Talonay, is actually an honorific, showing that she has a deep allegiance to our tribe, and therefore was given that honorific, almost like you would give a knight the term sir. She
Yeah.
had that equivalent. When she was assassinated, Dagu was nowhere to be found. And then all of a sudden, the stories started coming out of him meeting with Melanira and that Melanira was pregnant.
Oh dear.
Melanira's daughter, my half sister, Melisandre Rabat, is also in the Crescent. And I have a feeling was involved in what we were dealing with back at the town just beyond Bend with the big dome of ickiness
Yeah.
and the appearance of somebody wielding a ghost knife. That's very copycat of who she is.
Yeah,
She
you
actually,
got very
yeah,
interested, yeah.
I've told you about that before, but the
Yeah.
idea being that, that part of why I am here and part of what I've been sent to do is to clean up that mess because my tribe is disgraced in the Red Lady's eyes. And so part of what I've been sent to do, and he gestures over to the bag, is I have to deliver this and I have to deliver Melisandre, dead or alive, to sop up that stain and make it go away. And
Makes
thus I will
sense.
be able to return to my people and live the life I was intended. This is all getting in the way of me living the life I was intended to live. My God has told me as such.
S tier lore drop. Hell yeah.
Excellent.
So that's what I can tell you. What you can glean and attach to the item you have as you're perusing it, I can't tell you.
Yeah, I'm
That
just
item is not something I'm familiar with. When I saw it, I recognized that, oh, he's keeping a journal. That's different. So I would not have expected that. What have you found?
um well, I was scouring our new items, and one of the additional effects of that magic is you can use it to read an individual to understand what magics are within and affecting them.
Mm-hmm.
on a flash of inspiration, I use it on myself. And my interesting reactions to my abilities now seem to be possibly tied to that book.
Can I see it?
Uh,
He hesitates. I cast remove curse.
Do 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 do.
DC 16.
Doesn't seem to have any effect.
Okay. I just wanted to have gone through the process.
if you had a greater restoration, that'd be fucking helpful. But
No chance. No can do.
yeah,
I at least had that, so I figured I'm going to do that much.
yeah. But
And
I
then
don't.
I'm
I
and then
don't
I'm
know
going to
what
do
it is. I
well,
don't
I'm
know
going to
what
do
it's.
something I normally don't do. I'm opening my eyes to the sight. I find it abhorrent, but I'm going to do it in this case and just look at the tome.
The tome, the tome has a direct connection to Elsbeth.
This is bad.
And it
Yes.
is, Azathan is correct. It is tinted,
Yeah.
slightly crimson. And it doesn't look like using a remove curse should have broken that.
Right, and didn't. No, that's fine.
And it doesn't even look weakened.
Right.
It it may mm, roll a 20 sider for me. Just
Oh,
give me
sure.
a wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Okay. Let's see here. 19.
You're like, oh no, this might be one of those things where you have to do something to get rid of it.
Yeah, like a Giaz. That's what I was assuming it was.
This
I
is
hit it
so
hard enough, will
cool.
it go away?
Give me one more quick wisdom check.
Man, you're expecting me to be wise twice in one day? What are you, Merlin?
That's what you have me for.
Yes, especially with that roll. I'll take a 2.
Yeah, it you're like, but as soon as Azathan said that,
Mhm.
you glance his way and you see something very similar.
Is it also red?
Like you couldn't have you the wisdom was, okay, we're done now. And you're like, no, clearly not. He said something. Wait, what? He has some kind of an anchor too, but it is decidedly not crimson.
And I look at myself.
Oh, you're you.
No anchor.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, because mine is from the book. Mine is from a different book.
Understood. Alrighty. This is
So hitting
suitably
it won't
creepy.
help. Is that what I'm hearing?
No,
Not so
hitting it.
far
This is not a problem to be solved with at least violence on the items.
yet.
Violence on other people, that will be seen.
That
I
strangely
don't think
always.
Ellswood would fare well if I hit him.
No, but I think violence on others is always in our future, sadly. It seems to be the way
inevitable.
we go. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So, to that end, I would like to put to the group we have information on the potential of an undergrove in Thardell. There are no known groves above ground in Thardell.
You are correct.
Makes it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did my homework, GM. I got this. And so if that's the case, and the location of that grove looks suspiciously close to our capital where I need to return Dagu's head, that might be a place where we can get answers to at least what I've got. So I want to put that out there in addition to, do we need other answers for Elspeth before we leave this city? Just wanted to throw that out there.
I think um I think before we leave, we're gonna want to return to the old temple.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to go and do some things there in
Okay.
addition to what Theo wants.
Yep.
But I think all we need to do is gather, basically make our plan,
Yeah.
wrap up here, go back to Old Town, visit the temple.
Well, if
Then
you're visiting the temple for a quick errand,
Wait, is this the one?
where we solved it with the power of fucking
the
friendship.
tomb,
Yes.
yeah, the tomb,
Yes,
not
this-
temple, tomb.
Tomb.
This-
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
isn't
the
that going to
tomb.
set off alarms? And wasn't there like troops rallying?
The Golden Circle was trying to make a show of force here.
And if
we'll
we go
find
back,
out.
if we go
Cool.
back, we need to be aware of who's in charge.
And get our payment.
That's true.
I don't think we were getting paid for that.
Probably
We
not.
most definitely were supposed to
We
be
were-
getting paid.
We were getting paid by somebody who's no longer in power and may not even be clinging to life at this point.
Eh,
Details. I
Details.
know you'll resurrect him, make him pay, and then kill him. I get it.
But
I won't resurrect him. That's his
That's
thing.
Azathan's job,
That's
right?
man's deal.
Yeah.
I just keep the books.
Okay.
But I
it
can
is-
go and talk
I
to.
do-
I'm sorry.
I can go and get hopefully checked out by the Spire, see if they can see what's going on with me.
That would be good. Unless they decide to abduct you and keep you there in a magical spire that
subject.
none of us have access to.
Test subject.
As I
Anchor
would
to
not.
the traveling god or whatever.
You know, now that I say that out loud, are we sure these people won't just, for the greater good or whatever they decide is they're going to just magically fuck off with you for a time being or whatever? Are we sure that they're not that sort?
Sure, they are that sort.
That would be kind of overt, considering I am still a matter of interest to two countries.
That would be, you've chosen an occupation in which people disappear on a regular basis. Your sudden and mysterious death and disappearance would not be that difficult for them to figure out and write off. Oh, speaking of your political interest, I guess you also have to go report back to whatever definitely not a handler that you have from the twins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you could just ignore them and tell them to fuck off, which is my preference because they cannot be trusted.
Well, the goal was to see what the Weavers' intentions and planned
If they would
actions.
be valuable allies.
Yes, I can honestly say they are too busy with their own projects.
However, if you're smart enough, you can use them as a diversion to get at what you need.
Which,
I think that's a fair response for the twins.
Yes.
if they rate a response at all, because on the other hand, as much as I'm all for weakening the Weavers so they don't get in our way, I don't want someone else to have the same idea and take that from us, because that can come back around to them using them against us if we start going against their interests, which seems inevitable at this point. Point being, I think it might be wise for you to have fucked off and died, as far as they're concerned.
Did they want an in-person meeting for my report?
Unclear.
Well, since it wasn't explicitly asked, you could probably get away without one.
I was gonna say, yeah, gray area is your best friend.
Well, so what I can do is send a coded message.
Mm-hmm.
I can write up a full response of what we just saw, basically a 10-page version of what we just said.
Flowery words, curses. Got it.
Yes,
Yes.
but in a cipher.
As we wrap up this conversation, I'm gonna pull Yadu aside real quick.
Mhm.
And have the ring of mind shield. I'm gonna put this on. If I'm not me in like 30 minutes, take the ring off, and if you need to, take the finger off.
I can do that.
Excellent. I'm gonna put on the ring of mind shield.
You're way
Okay.
too cautious.
Yeah, tune to it.
How long does an attune usually take?
About an hour.
Okay. So as you have this on, you don't particularly feel any different
Mm-hmm.
until that attunement time passes.
And
And
I'm
then
just
you're
going
like-
to keep in communication with the Yadu during this process.
And then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, the ability, it's here. I have the ability to shield my thoughts. Other people would not be able to communicate or send things, or I like this. And then in your head, you hear, Kelthal is in. Kelthal is in. You hear something else. And then you hear, common? Voice in your head. Common.
Common.
Ugh. Common. You hear mumbling in a language you don't understand.
Alternatively,
Yes.
primordial,
No.
Sylvan.
Ugh. As soon as you try something in Sylvan, you hear, ugh.
I've got 3 other languages on the Rolodex. We can figure this out in other than common.
What are your other 3?
I've also got Elvish, Dwarvish, and Druidic.
Ugh. You are a house plant. How are we here?
Where is here? And
Wait. Is that sunshine?
in my sunshine in my dank basement?
Oh, thank goodness. No. I couldn't deal with another surface dweller. Ugh.
Um,
This is going to be a horror show. Just don't bore me.
And I'm going to motion to Ianu. Just 1 second. I'm going to point to my head, but just hold on.
I'm gonna pick up
Who
some
is
Soul
and
Reaver.
who are you to make introduction?
Lord, you are dull. Gah.
Fine, fuck you. What's your name, asshole? Like, what do you want? I'm trying to be polite.
And there is your first failing. You're going to die. At least grant me to someone clever before then.
I'll pick your body. It's okay.
I am so glad Thea does not have this ring.
oh Jesus!
Oh my
She's
god.
got 2 rings on already,
Yeah, she's out of 10 fingers. She can
and
only
she's
have
got a
2 rings.
3rd hanging around. So it's just a matter of like,
She doesn't need more personalities in her skull.
No.
All right, so
Imagine how well they get away around with rip and tear. Oh, and the other one. What's the other one called? I forget what the other one's called.
ghost
My
knife?
Ghost Reaver.
okay.
You can call me Kickzos.
Exhaust. I'm gonna write that down.
Queckzas.
Quick sass.
Quick
You-
sauce, like thick sauce.
You are so dull.
If you keep it up, I'll call you curmudgeon.
You and your friends will make excellent spell components.
I'm sure. I'm debatable. But so you are a sentient entity bound to a ring.
Sadly, also bound to your finger. May it fall
You gonna share with the
Okay.
class as it then, or you gonna keep this to yourself?
I'm absolutely keeping this shit to myself for now. Um, I will keep it to myself and probably Iadu since he's basically my anchor for this conversation.
I'm watching you getting more and more constipated. Yes.
Yes. Um,
I know that look.
it's the
Castor oil.
this is a this is a problem.
Or it's
Yes.
quench on its way out.
Oh, the gift that keeps on giving.
Uh, so you are quick sauce. You are bound to the ring and to me for the foreseeable future.
You couldn't see the future if I pointed you in the right direction and cast light behind your eyes.
Ooh, you're a miserable, sassy bastard, aren't you?
Think how much better this would have been if you were educated. I'm sorry, Elspeth's killing me.
I went to the recording of last session before for game, and all the mockery of when I want a quiz answer, I'll talk to you.
I'll remember that when you
Arrogant
are.
fuckwit.
Listen here, I'll remember that the next time you need revived, which seems to be inevitableness made of tissue paper and sadness. But that's
no-
okay.
But
I
no
won't be
student
that
loan
petty
debt. Yeah.
True.
yet. Oh, all right. So you're insufferable and intelligent. Good to
And
know.
you're tragic.
Aren't we
We're
all?
done here.
Well, you're stuck here for a while. You can either be useful or we can suffer through this together. Which would you prefer, oh intelligent curmudgeon?
This should be entertaining.
Glad you're on for. I'm glad you're on board. And I'm gonna, for the moment, just what's the equivalent of just close? What's the mental equivalent of like closing your flip phone?
Yeah, here's the problem.
Oh no, he's in my brain.
You can't.
Oh good.
It's mind shielding to everyone but yourself.
Oh, this
Yourself
is
is
so.
bound to the ring.
You'd have to break attunement.
Oh, all right. This is gonna be fun. We'll see how this impacts, and then we'll figure this out. Because if this negatively impacts some other things which are more important to me, I will fucking take this finger off and chuck it into the sea if needed. You'll find yourself attached to a starfish, and then we'll see how miserable you can truly be.
At least he has potential for growth.
Oh, you're so charming. I'm going to return my attention to Iadu. Good news. It is a ring of mind shielding. It also came with some carry-on baggage.
What's its name?
Its name is Quicksauce, but I'm going to call it the Curmudgeon.
Does it want to have you as a
It's
cohabit
annoyed.
thing?
It's annoyed that I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay, that I can deal with. I didn't want it
Yes.
to like you.
Yeah,
So,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This is
One should never make friends with one's accoutrement. And you see something that you saw me practicing earlier. I make a hand gesture, and you see my staff appear in my hand.
that's a new trick.
It is a new trick. That's what I had to get right.
No,
So-
that's what the weapon was teaching you.
Yes, I can now, when I don't need it, and I make the hand motion in reverse, and it goes into a pocket dimension.
So that's never being taken from you from security ever again. Excellent. Someone's going to need their weapons, and it's probably shouldn't be me.
Right,
So-
and I'm the one who, without my weapons, I'm basically useless. So this, basically, Lash and I have been discussing is not the word I would use. Arguing has been a lot of it because it had been trained by Dagu for things that it's unlearning right now.
Hmm.
But the idea that it must always be near me because I am its only chance for redemption finally convinced it to do this. It's also
Very
how I got
nice.
it to. It's also how I got it to change to appear as a staff rather than a halberd.
I think the only one of us now that isn't inherently bound to some external party is Dundon, and I'm beginning to envy that more
Oh
and
no,
more.
he's bound to alcohol, which is a third party.
Well, I mean, bound is a pretty strong word.
Would you
It
say you
gives-
could quit whenever you wanted?
I was gonna say
It's
go
a
without.
choice.
Go without for 5 days and we'll talk.
I'm a dwarf.
That was my point.
That's part of my dietary
requirements.
Yeah, so it's not defamation of character, it's definition of character. Now that we've established that,
Exactly.
time check. We got to
Yes.
hit.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's time
sorry.
check. I gotta go.
We have run long. But thank you. Here we go. Here's the button.